Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Queen Alita and I welcome you to the channel. Today I have a word based on a dream that I had on June 12th this year, 2022. And before I get into it, just a quick disclaimer: not every prophetic word is meant for everybody. So please, if this resonates in your spirit and you really feel like it's for you, take it to God, ask Him to speak to you, to confirm it for you. He loves confirming things. In fact, sometimes we don't even have to seek confirmation if a word is for us. He will just keep saying the same message over and over again in different ways. So just make sure you have confirmation before you run with the word. For some of you, this is something that is confirmation. This whole video is confirmation of what God has been speaking to you. I'm excited for you, but I still encourage you to take any questions you have to Him, because I only know in part, I only prophesy in part. I don't have the full story about your life. That is between you and the Lord. That relationship with Him is so important. It is imperative that you are able to hear from Him. Why is my mouth so dry? Sorry. It is so imperative that you are able to hear from Him and just get direction from Him, because that relationship is the most important relationship you will ever have your whole life. Okay, all the way into eternity, okay? Right, so now that we have the disclaimer out of the way, let me share the dream. I had it on June 12th, like I said. Okay, I'll share the dream, then I'll share the experience that I had, which is related to the dream and the message here today. So in this dream, I was in an Uber. I was in an Uber, and the driver, a female driver, this is someone that I met. This was an actual Uber driver that I had, which is why I mentioned an experience. And in the dream, I remember that my eyes were just doing some weird things, right? And I just thought, oh my goodness, she probably thinks something's wrong with me. She probably thinks I'm weird. She probably thinks I'm like this bad person. Or, just all this negativity. I was so worried that she was going to see me as this really bad person. And the way she was speaking to me and reacting to me, she saw nothing of what I saw. The way I was seeing my eyes or perceiving them, she didn't see that. She was, in fact, very positive in her responses to me, or in the way she was speaking to me. I just remember her just smiling and just really, happy to be engaging with me. And I remember thinking, why doesn't she see this? Like, what's going on here? And that was the dream, the long and short of it, right? So I woke up from that and I recorded the dream. And even in my recording, I heard myself saying, okay, I know exactly what God is trying to say to me through this dream. So I had the interpretation. I understood the dream when I had it. It's always just a matter of when to release these words, right? And if they're meant to be released. I don't share every single dream that I have. I don't share every single prophetic word God gives me through those dreams, because it may just be for me, or it may be for another time. But yeah, I don't bring every dream here. So this happened. I had this dream after I met this Uber driver. So in waking life, when I was in her car, we had a great conversation. She turned out to be a believer, someone who follows Christ. And, we really had a great conversation about all sorts of stuff, beliefs, and it was a beautiful conversation. But she kept saying to me, she said it a few times throughout the conversation. It was a very long drive, because at some point there was an accident on the freeway, and then at some point there was this like a little bit of a roadblock, and this was the street that turns into where I'm staying at the moment. And so we had to go around, and because we're talking so much, we missed the turn on our way around, if that makes sense. And she had to do it again. But this is not a quick U-turn. It's a long stretch of road. So it took us a while to get me home. So anyway, we were talking a lot along the way, and every now and then she would say, well, you should be a model. First of all, it's at night. It's a bit dark, if I do say so myself. Why? What do you base that on? Was my first thought. Like, why would you even think that? And she said it, and I was like, okay, thanks. just kind of like brushed it off because I'm like, what? No. And she brought it up again. And she was even telling me, go to this website. I'm telling you, if you submit your photo, you're going to get calls. I'm telling you, someplace in California she was telling me about. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I'll see about it. And I'm thinking, no, why would I, like, what, how is that even, no, I'm not a model, right? And when I got out, she stopped. She's like, I need to give you the details of the website where you need to go to sign up as a model. And I'm like, wow, she's so serious about this. So she turns, because the car had stopped, and she looked at me and she goes, okay, number one, you have a great body. I was like, oh, how did you even see that? Anyway, and then she said that, she asked me if that was my real hair, if all of this is my real hair. And I said yes. So she said, listen, the people are going to book you. Please, you have to do this. Like, you don't understand how much money you'll make. You're a model. Like, you should model. And so I thanked her. I took the details. Still not planning to contact a modeling agency. Like, no, I'm 5'3", and I know that these days, the world of modeling has really evolved and it's expanded. There are petite models and all of that kind of thing. I just never saw that as it's just never been an option for me. Let me say, maybe when I was young, when I thought, of these things, I thought, yeah, let me try it. But it wasn't really like a passion or anything. But to me, I just couldn't understand why she was telling me this. I just didn't get it. And I really started to think about it. And the Lord reminded me of how many people had said this to me. That this was not the first person to say you should model. And look, I still don't plan on doing it. Unless if the Lord is like, you have to do it. I really don't. But I really started to think about what she was saying and like realizing that, okay, this is not the first person who told me this. I know that I did I helped a friend out, or my sister's friend. She has a jewelry line, a jewelry collection, and she needed somebody to model, the jewelry line. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I don't mind helping out. That was probably 2 years ago. I might insert pictures just for fun. But yeah, so, that was just like a once-off for me. I did it because I was helping her out. She's starting out her business and I didn't expect to get paid. I just wanted her to be successful. And if she needed somebody who was willing to do it, I was there. And she asked for me and I was like, okay, great. Didn't know why she asked for me. She specifically asked for me. Didn't even think about why she asked for me. And the Lord has been trying to show me that, hey, you don't see yourself the way that I see you, the way that everybody else sees you. You have certain things in you that show on the outside, and people see this and they may not understand what they're seeing, so they translate it in a certain way. And this was my friend who actually explained it to me this way, by the way, because I was so confused. So she said, this is what, how she senses God is saying it to me, is that people may think, okay, you need to be a model, but what they're seeing is something that they don't understand. So then they think, okay, it's you're beautiful, go and model, right? And that's not the way I've seen myself at all. I would never describe myself that way. But the Lord has been challenging me. Last week when I was at the conference that I mentioned in my previous video, somebody came up to me, don't know this person, and she just came and she said, you're beautiful. And she said it 3 times. I said, okay, thank you. Okay, first I thought, weird, why would you just come up to me and say that? But the Lord just showed me that this is what I need you to believe. So this word is for many of you who struggle with seeing yourself the way that God sees you. I'm going to read from John chapter 4. It's a long passage, so bear with me. This message is going to bless you. So John chapter 4 verse 7 to 26. Soon a Samaritan woman came to draw water, and Jesus said to her, "Please give me a drink." He was alone at the time because his disciples had gone into the village to buy some food. The woman was surprised, for Jews refused to have anything to do with Samaritans. She said to Jesus, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. Why are you asking me for a drink?" If only you knew the gift God has for you and who you are speaking to, you would ask me and I would give you living water. So before I continue reading this, just as I go, I'm just going to speak freely. I may repeat some things. I do apologize for that, but I don't want to forget stuff. This is a long passage. This woman allowed herself to agree with what everybody else said about her. I'm just a Samaritan woman. He's a Jew. We don't mix, we don't mingle. And I get it. There was a whole cultural context to it. But even that's the point I believe that the Lord is trying to make, is to say, do you agree with what people say about you? Whether it's from a cultural context, whether it's in personal relationships, whether it's just in abusive relationships, do you partner with that thing? Do you take it on as your identity? So this woman was surprised that this Jewish man was speaking to her, right? And she was like, "Why are you asking me for a drink? I'm unclean. In other words, I'm gonna mess up your Jewishness. if we're gonna be frank about it, because that's how the Jews made people feel back then. Like, oh, you're not the chosen, you're unclean, don't touch, don't, kind of thing. And Jesus said, if only you knew the gift God has for you and who you are speaking to, you would ask me and I would give you living water. When I read that, I felt like Jesus was saying to me, if only you knew what you have inside you. So many people see it. Those outside of you can see it. Why can't you see it? In the dream, I saw my eyes doing something funny. I saw myself in a certain way, and I was panicking and worried that, this person was going to think this and that about me. So worried about what this person's going to think. And they were treating me in such a positive way. They were responding to me, interacting with me in a positive way. And I didn't understand it in the dream, because I was like, can't you see what's wrong with me? There's something wrong. And this is what so many of you who this message is for are subconsciously, and sometimes very consciously saying to yourselves, something is wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm this, I'm that. Imposter syndrome going on. And the Lord is saying, that's not who I say you are. That's not how I see you. And people around you as well don't see you that way. You don't see what you're carrying. Let me continue to read. But sir, you don't have a rope or a bucket, she said, and this well is very deep. Where would you get this living water? And besides, do you think you're greater than our ancestor Jacob, who gave us the well? How can you offer better water than he and his sons and his animals enjoyed? Jesus replied, anyone who drinks this water will soon become thirsty again. But those who drink the water I give will never be thirsty again. It becomes a fresh, bubbling spring within them, giving them eternal life. Please, sir, the woman said, give me this water. Then I'll never be thirsty again, and I won't have to come here to get water. I'm going to stop here. Just trying to remember what came up in my spirit as I read this. So there are things, I feel like the Lord just dropped this in my spirit. There are things that we do, that we indulge in, that make us feel good for a moment, that quench whatever spiritual thirst we may have, that void. We try and fill it up with certain things. And Jesus is saying, I am the void filler. I am that living water that you need. And for those of you who this message is for, you have been through a process where you have been refined, right? What do you think that was for? You're not supposed to be the same. Yes, you've got a whole crazy past. Oops. About to knock my mug over. You have a whole crazy past with so much going on there, like you, and the whole process of refinement was to squeeze out all of that, all the effects of it, the remnants of it, to just take it all out and bring you, present you brand new, a new creation, a brand new man, a brand new woman. Why would you see yourself the way that you used to be? Yes, you did some crazy stuff. I did a lot of weird and crazy things. Things I'm not proud of. Things that break my heart sometimes because they affected other people, right? We've all hurt people, just like we've been hurt. It's so easy for us to focus on, oh, so-and-so hurt me and woe is me, my childhood. We've hurt some people too. But the Lord has taken you through this process of refinement, and He has filled you up with Himself. Jesus has become your living water. Why do you think you would still be the same? Why are you not seeing yourself the way that He sees you? Right? Let me continue reading. So she's asked for the water, and Jesus says, "Go and get your husband." Jesus told her, "I don't have a husband," the woman replied. Jesus said, "You're right. You don't have a husband, for you have had 5 husbands, and you aren't even married to the man you're living with now. You certainly spoke the truth." So I'm going to pause there. The point that I just made. Yes, you've done some things. You've lived a certain way. You're not lying. It's true. But you have been refined. You are now this brand new person, and you need to see yourself the way that He sees you, the way that others see you. And when I say others, there are some people that will still try and stifle you, which is why just even the chapter that I'm reading from, John 4, later on, which I'm not going to get to, is verse 44, where it says, even Jesus Himself said that a prophet is without honor in his own hometown. Some of you have had to come out of those places, those familiar places, and be replanted somewhere else, where God is going to honor you, where the people will see you for who you truly are. Some of you are already in that position where you are being seen for who you truly are. So why aren't you believing it? Is basically the question. So the woman says, "Sir, you must be a prophet. So tell me, why is it that you Jews insist that Jerusalem is the only place of worship, while we Samaritans claim it is here at Mount G?" We're just going to call it Mount G, because I'm not about that life of trying to pronounce words I cannot. "Where our ancestors worshipped." Jesus replied, "Believe me, dear woman, the time is coming when it will no longer matter whether you worship the Father on this mountain or in Jerusalem." I love this. "You Samaritans know very little about the one you worship, while we Jews know all about Him, for salvation comes through the Jews. But the time is coming, indeed it is here now, when true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. The Father is looking for those who will worship Him that way. For God is spirit, so those who worship Him must worship in spirit and in truth." Okay? So what is the truth that the Lord is speaking to you today? That you are beautiful, that you have a gift, that His living water is what He has given you. He has refined you. You are ready. Stop seeing yourself the way that you used to be. You need to let that go, because you are hindering yourself from moving forward. I'm not saying that I should, sign up and become a model. I don't believe that's the way God is leading me. But I believe He is trying to show me something that I have not believed for a long time. What is He trying to show you that you haven't believed? What are people saying to you that you have dismissed so quickly because you just can't receive it? I cannot be this good thing. Because do you know what I used to do? Do you know who I am? Do you know all these agreements and lies that we've believed and partnered with for too long? You have to start to let them go. They have to go, because they're not going to help you. And it's like you're holding yourself back from enjoying the living water that is Jesus Christ in your life. Right? He's trying to fill you up, but you keep putting the poison in the water. Like, oh no, but I'm this, but I'm that. Why? Then what was the refining for? Why did you go through that fire? So that you can come out as gold, so that you can come out as silver, whatever the Lord ministered to you in your heart. Silver and gold is beautiful. It's not tainted, especially if it's refined and it's been taken through that fire. That's what you are now, and you have to start to believe it and see yourself in that way. The woman said, I know the Messiah is coming, the one who is called Christ. When he comes, he will explain everything to us. Then Jesus told her, I am the Messiah. I am the living water. I am already here. It has already begun. The new thing has already begun. Worship in spirit and in truth. And when we worship in spirit and in truth, we are acknowledging who we are. Because if we don't, then there's a lie involved there. You're not worshiping in spirit and in truth. You're worshiping in flesh and lies. Because if you were in the spirit, you would know who you are. You would understand who you are. You would stop seeing yourself the way that you used to be, the way that some abusive person said you were. Whether it was intentional, unintentional, all those things need to be, you need to forget them. It's like they've been refined off of you, right? Burned off of you. But it's like you're just trying to hold on to them. No, let me just, no. Accept it. Someone tells you you're beautiful, you are beautiful. Some people may see certain things in you and not understand it and say things like, you should be a model. Okay, thank you very much. Receive it. The Lord had to give me a whole dream with that same Uber driver. That was not a soul dream. It was God showing me that, hey, I sent somebody to show you something about yourself, and you are already dismissing it like you always do. Well, this time I'm going to show you this is how you see yourself, and I need you to understand that that is not the truth. Well, I think I've got the point across without making this video too long. Just checking the notes. You already have what you need. It is here. It is within you. The living water, Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit, the Father, they're all here for you. Believe what God is saying about you. It is true, and run with it. Accept it. Yesterday, a friend of mine, I met this person probably a few months ago. He has become such a valuable person in my life. He said to me, Alita, he doesn't call me Alita. He says, Queen, are you comfortable with just being by yourself? Like just you alone? Are you comfortable and confident in yourself? And I was like, I don't know. And he said, do that. Just work on being confident and comfortable when you're alone. Because when you are confident and comfortable with yourself, you won't need anybody else to affirm you out there. You won't need anybody else to make you comfortable and confident with yourself. He knows I'm a writer, and he's like, write. Just write. No matter how you're feeling, if you're angry, write it down. Nobody's going to know what you wrote. It's only what you publish, what you put out there. The more you feel comfortable with yourself. Because he was showing me you don't write like you should because you are thinking about what everybody else thinks. No. Be free. Be comfortable and confident alone with yourself, and you won't need anybody else to affirm you that way. And I was like, wow, that really impacted me. It was the answer that I was looking for, because I had asked God for deliverance in a certain area, very, very specific area. And that was part of the answer for me. And I knew that God was going to somehow come through and give me the answer. So even as I go through my journey of self-acceptance and being comfortable in who I am and accepting it when people say I'm beautiful, and just saying thank you so much for saying that. Obviously they see something, even though I struggle or have struggled. All I can do is say thank you, because they're not lying to me. Why would a stranger come up to me and lie to me? Anyway, I could go on and on. that is the word for today, friends. For those who it's for, really just take it to heart and let God minister to you, okay? I will see you in the next video. Always remember that God is a good Father. He loves you so much because you, my friend, are so deeply special to Him.
Your Majesty, full of honor,